Welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao, and that exclusive will be on Friday at 7 a.m. between my colleague Mufta Nabila and Yusuf Chipstead there. I mean, exciting conversation you should look forward to. But let's start with the Black Stars because former Black Stars midfielder Lai Kinson believes the team is in perfect shape for the 2022 World Cup despite their uninspiring performance in the two friendly games against Brazil and Nicaragua. Ghana lost 3-1 against Brazil on Friday before securing a 1-0 win over Nicaragua on Tuesday night. Many football fans in Ghana believe the team is not ready for the Mundial, but Laye, who made 44 appearances for Ghana between 2002 and 2010, has a different opinion altogether. He was speaking to Nathaniel Actor on Sports Today.
Very massive improvement. A lot of people will say that with a weaker opponent, but the most important thing is the technical team seeing what they want to see. From listening to the head coach, Otuado, it looks like he's very impressed about the performance, especially the way the team created chances. But I would like to see the team creating chances like that against better and tougher opponents. I would like to see them against Brazil. When they were playing against Brazil, they should open up instead of giving them so much respect in the game against them. Against Nicaragua, you can see they were relaxed. You can see the style of play they wanted to play. Centre-backs were very confident. Salisu and Amate, they were confident. They can carry the ball as far as to cross the center line before giving a deep pass to the strike attackers. So for me, I think this is modern football. I saw modern football, modern game yesterday from the Black Stars. They created a lot of chances. Inaki Williams making a lot of deep runs. Fatau good with 1v1 in his game. Bukari, they gave us a lot up front, just that we couldn't score more goals. Someone will say that players are making runs, midfielders are not spotting them very quickly. But I will say, looking at Bukari and Williams, they've not played with some of the players in the squad. So they have to get used to each other before they will have that telepathy. So overall, I think the performance was good from the Black Stars side. We should have scored more goals, but I'm happy that they created a lot of chances.
Wow. Now, for you, what would you want to see the Black Stars do in that final game against Switzerland? Because that really is the only chance available for you know, the both Otuado and the rest of the side to just figure it out. One game only. That's the reality.
Yeah, one game to go to the tournament. It's very important for Otto to go into that game to show that the players that he will pick to start the game against Switzerland will be players going to start the game in our first game in the World Cup. Every coach will do that. As a technical person, I will do the same thing. Because last game, and I know countries will do the same thing. So I would like to see the team Otto parading like the first starting 11. That is going to represent the country. His best players that he believes can help him achieve something in the tournament, he will have to line them up for Ghanaians to see. Going into the game, of course, everybody wanted to win their last game before they go into a major tournament, to have confidence to their first game in such tournament. So it's not going to be different. I believe Black Stars would love to have a win against Switzerland. Switzerland is a team that is not weak. They have good players. They have players that they are playing in big clubs in the world. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough game. Switzerland and Brazil, you can say Brazil is ahead of Switzerland, but not far from Brazil. They are the level that the Swiss team is in now. So for me, it's going to be a very good game. But I would like to see Otto putting up a starting 11, like a strong team against Switzerland. And they have to go all out and then play well like they did against Nicaragua, so that the players will bring that confidence into their first game in the tournament.
So that was the former Black Stars midfielder Lai Kingston there, but there's been many reviews relative to how the Black Stars ought to set up going into the World Cup and whether they should set up in a back three or a back four. My colleague Michelle Aquino is in the studio with me to offer some perspective relative to how the Black Stars really ought to set up. Michelle, I mean, tell us, what do you have there?
Right, so what I have here is just a little presentation on how I think the Black Stars should look like at the World Cup. Otto Addo has, two systems in mind at the moment, a back four and a back three. And actually, in the game against Nicaragua, we saw him also try out a 4-4-2, but what mainly have been looking out for actually is talking about is actually between a back three and a back four. So right here, we're going to look at the pros and cons of each system and try and understand. I'm going to give you perspective and give you context as to what Otto will be looking at in choosing which system he uses at the World Cup. So first of all, for the back four, advantages of the back four, it offers the team numerous approaches when they have possession and when they are on the ball. And also, it provides the opportunity to play with two attacking midfielders, what I term as a dual attacking eight. We are going to get into the explanations very soon. So the approaches. So for those who don't understand, a back four, when we say a team plays with a back four, it simply means they have two centre-backs with two full-backs on either side, on the left and the right side. And ahead of them are either midfielders, wingers, and a striker. So in a typical back four, you're going to have your two centre-backs and a wing-backs. Remember, we said one of the advantages is that it offers the team so many approaches. Let's get to the approaches now. For one approach is that when the team has possession, as you see here, the team can open up and they can open up to create spaces on the field for them to play through opposition. So at the moment, we have Daniel Amati and Mohamed Salisu, the two centre-backs who are very central in there. We have Daniel Idrisu, right central, with our wing-backs. First of all, Gideon Mensah on the far end, with Ali Duseidu, who played as a right-back for the first time for the Black Stars versus Nicaragua. In between here, we have Kudus and Tre with our other forwards ahead. So this is one approach the Black Stars normally uses when they're having the back four. Secondly, you see the Black Stars playing the three-back in the back four, but they can also switch to back three. And that's another advantage because although it's a back four, they can switch through various forms and shapes. And what we can see is it's a back three. Here we have the holding midfielder in Daniel Idrisu. In Daniel Idrisu form a back three with the two centre-backs in Salisu and Amati. We have Tre and Mohamed Kudus with Gideon Mensah also holding weight on the left. The other players are out of frame. And other approaches the Black Stars have also used in other games versus Nigeria, Madagascar, and the current cup are, first of all, when they're having the back four, they have Salisu and Amati as centre-backs. And because Salisu is left-footed, it's easier for him to push further out to the left and play and operate from that. And normally, because Odor is an older player and has a bit of speed and all of that, he's normally slotted in as a right centre-back to form a back three. And in this case, in that situation, you have the right winger hold the weight. So in this case, it's Osman Bukari, who play as a winger, shuffling from that right-hand space, with Gideon Mensah playing as a traditional left-back from here. And then you have your three midfielders in a 3-1-4-2. So we have your three centre-backs, your holding midfielder, your front four, and ahead of them, two forwards. In this case, we have Jordan Ayew and Inaki Williams. And another variation of this is you have a 3-2-4-1. And the difference here is that in a 3-2-4-1, you have more solidity in midfield, as is visible over here. So instead of a single pivot, now you have a double pivot with Elisha Owusu and Tre. That offers more stability and offers more security when you are progressing the ball ahead. So also, you also have a dual attacking midfielders. Now, in this situation, earlier we said two basic advantages. You can play in different approaches, and also you have attacking midfielders. You can double them. So here we have, in the game versus Nigeria, we have Kudus, and I can't remember the name of this guy, but it's obvious here. We have Thomas Partey, who was playing the holding midfield role. Ahead, Afinijan and Jordan Ayew. We had Fatal Zahaku here, and Gideon Mensah holding the weight. And we had Kudus and the other attacking midfielder playing in the half spaces. Same was replicated versus Nicaragua, in this case with Tre and Mohamed Kudus. We have Inaki Williams and Fatal Zahaku with Ali Duseidu holding the width on the right. Same thing applied there in the sense, by this sense, we have Trey further down the left side with Kudus playing right behind Inaki Williams. So what happens in this thing is with dual attacking midfielders is always you have additional opportunity to have cutbacks for your other players infield. Normally when you are playing with a single top or with traditional wingers, what they are going to have to do is to cross the ball from the wide areas. But when you play with this system, you can have your forwards, your wide forwards play more infield, and you have Kudus also making a late run with Inaki Williams right behind. So Kudus versus Trey, as I said, we play with dual attacking midfielders, but Kudus and Trey are two distinct players, although they look very similar. Let me just go through for you quickly. In these two, the Black Stars have very technically gifted players with similar style but different profiles. We'll get into that shortly. And Kudus possesses more of an attacking threat, and while Trey has backs of it, he possesses more skill set of that of a central midfielder. And if you watch Real Madrid very frequently, you can see that in Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. So this is just the picture. So Kudus, as I said, he plays more ahead when the team wants to look varied in their approach. You have Kudus right here. And this is the role Modric plays most of the times. In Real Madrid, he pushes up forward. And then you have Toni Kroos playing as a quarterback in the NFL. And that's a similar role Trey played for the Black Stars against Nicaragua because he has that profile. What Trey offers differently to Kudus is that Trey knows how to recycle possession and just knows how to make the team tick with quick passes, while Kudus is more of the advanced guy, driving forward and pushing more and has more that has more of the intent to drive and give those killer passes. But Trey is the safest guy, recycling possession and just making sure the team is ticking with possession. Let's move forward. Inaki Williams is going to be our link from the back four to the back three because ever since Inaki Williams came, many people said he was going to solve the striking problems for the Black Stars. But what the games versus Brazil and Nicaragua have shown us is that is far from the case, simply because Inaki Williams, first of all, is not your out-and-out striker. Secondly, he carries more threat when he's played off another attacking midfielder or another player in that same role. Thirdly, in the game against Brazil, we saw when he came in the second half, he threatened more, and that's simply because he played against Dede Ayew. We'll get to the pictures very soon. And also, against Nicaragua in the first half, he looked very withdrawn. By the second half, we had more chances, and he was put into the game more. We're going to get into the pictures very soon. But right before we do that, Otoado said something during his press conferences. All he said was that this friendly games was for him to try out new systems and new ways to use his players. After the game against Nicaragua, many people criticized Otoado for not trying systems. But what he did against Nicaragua was that he tried a 4-4-2. Here we have Kudus and Inaki Williams. And if you remember, one other thing he said was that he's going to use Kudus as a false nine. It's an option for the Black Stars, and he saw that against Nicaragua. So here we have Kudus and Inaki Williams. Inaki Williams, who thrives more from half spaces in here. Right behind him is Fatah Isaku trying to play a ball in through for him. And also the same system. Now we have Trey going back to the earlier system. Trey playing more behind, while Kudus is up front, some right here with Inaki Williams. And we have the two inside forwards in Osman Bukhari and Fatah Isahaku playing more inward. And now the Black Stars have more bodies in the middle of the park. Let's just forward. So this is one thing which happened. Kudus scored this goal but was ruled out for offside because Osman Bukhari was beyond the last Nicaragua defender during the build-up. Let's just go on quickly to a back three. So we won't get to the pictures for the back three, but for the back three, what it simply does is the additional player in defense offers more stability for the team in terms of security. And we have wing backs who form a back five in defense and other midfielders who form in during the defensive shape. All right,
so Mitch, we've seen the coach try out, back four, back three system. Going into the World Cup, which will you advise, that is going to be suitable and helpful for the team, in the Mundial?
The back four looks more, sweet because you have more interplays and all of that. But the critical issue for the Black Stars is they can't score. We saw it against Nicaragua. They created all the chances but failed to take those chances. Nicaragua had some good chances on the counter-attack, but they couldn't use them. So what the back three will do is to give the team more stability. You can open up, but once you open up, you have that security in defense to guard against the counter-attack because you have the extra man in defense. So a back three is the safest option for the Black Stars against Portugal Uruguay and South Korea at the World Cup.
That's Michelle Quenu there of the Joy Sports Decks. They're offering some exciting perspective relative to how the Black Stars ought to set up going to the World Cup. There's going to be more of this as we build up to the World Cup. But let's move on, because former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association has told Joy Sports it will be ideal for the Black Stars to have at least 3 management committee members. Fred Papo, who was chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee during the 2006 World Cup, has been speaking exclusively to Joy Sports.
I do not think any number beyond 3 will be necessary.
Okay.
For me, I think a 3-member.
At the time when you were in charge, it was more than 3.
For a long period of time, we started as a World Cup committee. The government of the day, then under former President J. Kufuor, they formed the World Cup committee. I think we were about 15 or so.
Okay.
Quite a number under the chairmanship of the late Vice President Alhaji Aliu Mahama, with Obi Amo and the rest, So I think after he didn't come for the first, he actually delegated the sports minister or the deputy to preside. Then we went in to play our first match against Burkina Faso in Ouaga on about 4th or 5th of June 2004. We lost by 1-0. When we got to Ghana, the second meeting, the meeting after that, nobody attended.
I see.
Yeah, and so meanwhile, football people were, it had all manner of business magnates and the rest, tycoons on there. But
Who didn't have the time?
They didn't have the time, they didn't have the heart and the passion for the game, It's a different thing when you're talking about football. If you may be whatever it is, you may have all the credentials, but then if you are not a football person, you are not a football person. So the second meeting, none of them turned up. At that time, the football people were agitating that, look, the management committee was supposed to be a preserve and a function of football people. You guys just stay back. So they went ahead and then formed a 5-member management committee. We met, we played against South Africa. After the South Africa game, a problem erupted between 2 of our members. I don't need to mention names now. And the 2 dignified gentlemen. Yeah,
you go ahead. It's been a while. So
they decided to resign.
Sure.
I think there was a problem between. Let's forget about them. They decided to resign.
What was it about, though?
I think it was a matter of a football issue with passions springing up and disagreements.
In the Ghana Premier League, Asante Kotoko secured their first win of the season after beating newcomers in Sanchoman 2-1 at the Barbara Sports Stadium in an outstanding week game on Wednesday afternoon. We have highlights for you plus sports game analysis.
Sani, who were in very good space, and they would have straight away been zoned into Kotoko's back line.
And here comes Amankuna. He's got great pace. It goes down. There's a penalty from the challenge of Shari Faisal.
Buedu's ball is absolutely pitch. Difficult one for the defender to get onto, and it's Amankuna who is on his bike. Yeah, he's been clattered into. It's clumsy.
Amankuna steps forward, and Amankuna scores. It's Asante Kotoko 1, Instruction 0. Steven Amankuna.
Best of penalty kicks there. I think the goalkeeper just didn't dive to his left enough. But the boy is very close to the middle than close to the posts.
Zeze, good ball. Now here is Mukwala. Wow, another miss.
And he looks into the skies, asking how and why he's not buried that. Zeze's pass is a brilliant ball. The angle on his pass is magnificent. The weight of it is perfect. And all Mukwala has to do is to just find the right bend to it. He does everything right, but the kick.
Walid Husseini's ball punched away by Danlad. Isaac Opon gets something on it. Good movement from Zeze. What a play from the Ivorian. He's surging for it, looking for support. It is Zeze now to Amankuna. Does he get his brace? Amankuna straight here with one side. Ofori. Good play from Opon. Here is Mukwala. Sets up Isaac Opon. Here is Isaac Opon. And he gets Asante Kotoko's second goal. It's 2-0 for the Porcupine Warriors. It is Isaac Opon.
And it's Isaac Opon who started the move very nicely, got the ball over his man and ran into a good space. Mukwala squared the ball to him. A sure touches to get into space.
Mahama's corner. Ofori's header, and it's the equalizer. Insuachiman have a go back. Kotoko 2-1. Setting in the equalizer, but they are back in it. Insuachiman, who are back in this one.
Yeah, Philippa Fori climbing to get head on the ball there. I think it's Morrison who's trying to defend, but the defender good is just a scoop.
So that's we draw the curtains on today's edition of Prime Sports. That was the first win for Kumasi Asante Kotoko so far this season. But there's more on myjoyonline.com/sports. But on PM Express, the conversation continues on the Black Stars' performance. And the big question is whether the Black Stars are ready for the World Cup later this year. With Ivan Spencer and my colleague George Jr., Frencho Tahiru and Gary Smith. Please stay.